I've manifested $120,000 in a single day. I've manifested 7 figures. I've even manifested paying off $100,000 in student loan debt simply by taking action on the steps you're going to get today. And after you take these 5 steps, you're going to actually manifest money a lot more consistently and predictably as well. Now, step number 1 is setting your intention. As Napoleon Hill said almost 100 years ago, successful people make decisions quickly and change them very slowly, if ever. Unsuccessful people make decisions very slowly and change them often and quickly. Now, I'm going to teach you here in step 1 on how to take all of your brain power and marshal it into one focus or intention. Now, I was in this boat for so long. I would always think of all the different things I want and I'd crave and really desire a different world and shift in my reality, whether that's bringing in money, $10, $50, $100,000 per month income, my dream partner, my dream homes. And essentially my mind would constantly think about 100 things throughout the day. There was always something going on in my mind and I'd be very, very indecisive on where I wanted to go. I had a general vision and a general idea, but if someone were to come up to me and I'm walking down the sidewalk and says, "Scott, what do you want?" Well, I would probably have to think for a moment and say, well, it would be all general. Well, I kind of want a nicer house, like a dream home. I really would like to have a better partner in my life, or at least a partnership or a soulmate in my life. I would want more money, right? All these different things would come up for the everyday person. But what's really important is realizing we only have a certain amount of power that we can marshal on a moment-to-moment basis. I want you to think about a cup of water. That's the amount of water you have today. Let's do an example. If you drink half of that water, there's only half left for today. You can't refill the cup. If you drink the entire cup, maybe in the morning, all day you have to go without water in this example. That's kind of how your willpower works as well. When you're thinking about a million different things in one day, you deplete your brain power into many different focuses throughout the day. So here in step 1, what I really suggest, and I work with all my clients and myself on, is get rapidly clear on one thing you want in 2 to 3 areas of your life, and you put it into the present tense statement. So you may write something, and I know this is going to be small, just hear this out loud. I now have, and you fill in the blank as if you already had it. You put it in the present tense statement. I now received. I now have. You see, as people's brain power gets so scattered throughout the day, they never think in terms of the present tense. It's always, I wish I had this. I really hope this works out. Or I'm so frustrated that I'm not there already. So you can already see that cup of water, if we think about it as brain power, is getting depleted by every wish, every hope, and every frustration, because every thought you have is potent energy. You only have so many thoughts in a certain day, and some of those thoughts need to have a lot more emotion in them to actually cause a manifestation to happen. So get clear on 2 to 3 areas of your life, exactly what it is that you want, word for word, and putting it into a present tense statement as if you already have it. Now, step number 2 is clarifying your imagination and what you're seeing inside of it. Now, let me tell you a story to really bring this home. I was working with a client not too long ago, and he was really struggling with bringing in any sort of money manifestation. Seemed like all day he was overthinking, when's the money going to come? I don't know where it's going to come from, doubting himself, worrying. And I remember asking him a certain question like, okay, well, what is it that you want? And he already got clear on step 1. So he's like, well, I want $50,000 a month. I said, okay, great. That's a fantastic income level. But what are you seeing in your mind as you're visualizing or throughout your day? And he kind of stumbled for a moment and he's like, well, I don't really know what I'm seeing in my mind. And I was like, okay, well, when you visualize, what are you seeing? And he says, well, number 1, I'm not really being consistent with visualizing, to tell you the truth, Scott. And number 2, I don't really remember even what I'm seeing in my imagination. And I said, this is the exact problem. This is your big challenge. You have no clarity of what's going on in your imagination. Of course, it's not going to work. And it's not whether manifestation is working for you. I can mention the name, but saying this to him, no wonder why it's not manifesting your desired results money-wise, because everything starts in your imagination. If you're not even clear on what's going on in your imagination, how do you expect the universe to work on your behalf to bring it to you as you're fusing with it? It makes no sense, right? And he really got the idea, and we started to work on clarity of the imagination. But imagination being in step 2 is critically important. Now, most people know, I've heard about imagination, right? I've heard about visualizing, but almost everybody is going at this the completely wrong way. And we need to clarify a couple of things. So within this, remember we talked about in step 1 to have 2 or 3 solid intentions in the present tense statement, very, very crystal clear. Well, in step 2 here, as we have these intentions clarified already, we need to clarify what they look like as if it was in your possession already, in your imagination. We call these end scenes, or we call them imaginal acts, because they're images or visualized videos of what you would have or what you would see as if it was already yours in step 1. So for each of your desires, you want to write down an imaginal scene. What would you see in your mind? So easy examples. If I'm going to manifest in the big money, right, and actually manifest in something into my life, I would write down, I just now received $50,000 per month income. I now have $50,000 per month income, something of that nature. In the imaginal scene, I may see my bank account, specifically my business checking account or my personal checking account, increased by $50,000 during a month. Makes sense, right? If I had another $50,000 income coming in, I would see my bank account increased by that amount of money. So in my imaginal scene, in my imagination, I'm going to write down, before I even visualize, in detail exactly what I'm seeing in my mind. What does that look like? So I would see I'm signing in to my bank, your local credit union, whatever your bank is, Bank of America, Bank of this, Bank of whatever the bank is, sign in, log in, see in my mind how it is, and alter the number in the checking account. You see what I'm doing here? So the imagination is matching here. And now you're going to visualize that same thing every single time, but you have it in writing. So if I asked you, like I asked my client later on, like, what are you visualizing now? He had a clear answer. He knows, I'm visualizing this exact thing. Now, this is really important. You need actually at least 2 of these scenes. So a second scene may be more, the first scene is still image, the second one a moving image. Here's what I mean by that. If you were doing something with the money, what would you be doing? So it's kind of like, what would you do with the money? Why do you want it? So the first scene is a still image of the bank account. The second one is a moving image, what I call a visualized video. And in that video, you're going to see what you do with the money. You might transfer some from your checking to your savings. So you see yourself going to the transfer button, clicking transfer the amount of money, clicking transfer and confirm and approve, and it transfers. Or you might pay off a certain debt. Maybe like me, I had student loan debt or a mortgage or a car or whatever you want to pay off. See yourself logging into that login portal or writing a handwritten check and actually paying off that thing. So we're doing a moving picture, and it should be about 10-15 seconds long, but you're going to write it down in writing first, and then every single day you're going to start to say, what am I doing with the money? When's it come in? And what am I actually behavior action doing with the money in step number 2? Now, step 3 is activating step 1 and 2 with feeling and emotion. You know, my first mentor was Bob Proctor. I actually became a top 10 coach for Bob Proctor as I got started coaching under him. And the mentorship was absolutely the most valuable thing I've ever been through in my entire life. And the wise Bob Proctor said, Scott, you're missing the mark. You really want results. You want to manifest clients. You want to manifest income. You are talking about all these great things. And I remember this because we were at the $1 million round table, as he called it. There was 12 of us having private mentorship with Bob. And he said, Scott, you got to really focus on the feeling. You're missing it. So you could do all the visualization you want. You could do all your affirmations. You could do the gratitude. You could do everything that I teach here. But if you're not feeling it, it's never going to come to pass. And then he went on to say, remember, feeling is your conscious awareness of the vibration you're in. So essentially what Bob was saying is feeling and vibration are the same. When somebody says, I feel frustrated around money, what they're really saying is my vibration around money is one of frustration. My frequency is low around money. Or when somebody says, I feel so grateful about the money that came into my life, what they're really saying is my frequency around money right now is really good. So knowing that feeling is vibration, we have to step into the vibration of the money you want to manifest. We have to do it now before anything changes. Because also, there's a famous quote out there that says, vibration precedes manifestation. What does that mean? It just means the feeling. You have to feel the feeling prior to the thing manifesting in your life. So how do we do this? Well, we have clarity on exactly what you want. We now have clarity on exactly what you're seeing in your imagination to visualize, both the still image and the visualized video. Now we have to select the feeling. You're going to write down the feeling. So you might feel joy. If you manifest some money today, you might feel so much joy, or you might feel so much gratitude, or you might feel so much excitement. Write down a feeling that corresponds to your first image. Remember the bank statement. How would you feel? You might feel excited. And then write down a feeling you would have with the visualized video. You might feel over the top accomplished. Whatever the feelings are, you're going to write those down in Word before you do anything else. And then when you're starting to visualize your scene 1 and scene 2, in your imagination, you actually start to match your inner speech or your inner thinking with the end scene. And that's how you induce feeling. That's how you start to feel it, even though it's not true yet physically. There's something I really love that I've quoted, and my clients have just really taken this and ran with it and really made substantial progress, was everything that's not here yet is a physical lie. You are lying to yourself. If you don't have $50,000 a month yet manifested in, and you say I have $50,000 a month coming in, you're lying to yourself. That's right, you are. But it's a spiritual truth. At a higher plane, you already have it. You already have it vibrationally. So it may be a physical lie. In this physical world, I have my flip chart on my marker, it may be a physical lie. But at a higher plane, where in who you truly are, it's a spiritual truth that you've already done it. You've already won. You've already had the income. You've already had the business. You already had the clients, the job, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, income and money-wise. So when we are matching with the feeling, it's maybe a physical lie, but it's a spiritual truth that you can feel joyful right now around money before anything changes. That is a truth spiritually. So when you match your inner speech, it would be something like this. So if I'm imagining my bank statement in the first one, I may say things like, wow, it happened. Or, universe, thank you so much for bringing $50,000 into my checking account. Or maybe for image 2, when you're doing your video visualization, you might say things like, the universe is so good to me. Money seems endless from now on. Or, I feel so blessed, so grateful, and I feel so accomplished now that I have $50,000 that just came into my bank account. See what I'm doing? I'm matching my inner speech with the end scene, with me as if I already had it in my possession right now. But I already know what I'm going to try and feel. And then you say out the feeling word. So that's the part of it that you match the inner speech. You say things like, I'm so grateful, universe, thank you for bringing the money in. I now feel joyful. You just literally say it out loud. Or maybe your second feeling was accomplished. So you'd say something like, now that $50,000 has come into my life, I feel so accomplished. That's how you induce a feeling. You tell yourself in the spiritual plane, this is how I'm feeling now while I'm visualizing my scene 1 and 2. Now, step number 4 is letting it go. Now, this one took a long time for me to actually master and actually get into the harmony with. Letting was really tough for me because I'm very ambitious and very driven, that very masculine, energy-oriented, getting things done, getting things accomplished, and moving the needle forward on the mission. And letting and allowing is very feminine based. It's very creative based. It's about receiving. And this was super tricky for me because it was like, how do I balance being ambitious and driven and trying to make it happen while allowing it to happen at the same time? It's like the same coin, but the opposite side. And what really helped me out was realizing all of the get it done, driven, ambitious work, all that jazz and all that juice that I had, that fuel, put it into the action. But when it comes to manifestation, everything manifestation-wise, just allow it to come and don't even think about it anymore. So when we talk about step 4 here in letting go, what we're ultimately talking about, in one phrase that helped me out that I hope you borrow, at least to utilize and see if it works for you, is see here, universe, take care of this for me. And what it is a shift in focus from here to here. So not there, but here. The focus is basically most people, when they're trying to manifest, where their consciousness is throughout the day is, how am I going to get the money? How am I going to bring that in? Where is the money going to come from? And why isn't it here yet? That's their mind focus. It's like, oh my God, it's so much anxiety, worry, doubt, fear, and scariness that I have to get this thing. I have to get the money. But that's what was happening to me. And that's not what you want to do. Instead, you change direction here by letting go, by doing this. Do your internal work, step 1, 2, and 3 that we've done already so far. Do the internal work, and then that's all you focus on is service and gratitude. That's it. You don't think about your intention anymore. You don't visualize it. None of this stuff. You don't even consider it anymore. This is a one-time-a-day practice. You don't have to think about it all day for it to manifest. That's a misnomer in personal development. You can drop it into subconscious and then let it go, and it's going to come way quicker than you trying to think about it all day. So you focus on service. What do I mean by that? If you're in a job, look to serve your boss, your team, your company better than they've ever seen you serve ever before. Even if you don't like the company, okay? Maybe you're trying to find another job. I don't care. It's not about that. It's about raising your frequency and serving others by increasing other life, increasing business, increasing those around you. You'll increase yourself and you'll get out of your head. That's the key here is this is soul. This is mental. This is soul. So we have to get inside of you, embodying you rather than thinking of this stuff the entire time, right? So focus on service. Just give more than you've ever given before. Not in an exhausted way. Do things that are like giving, give appreciation, give thank you notes, help people out just a little bit more, do a better project. And if you have your own business, focus on how can I serve my clients more today? How can I serve my prospects more? How can I volumize my orders? How can I get myself and my work out there more and more? More service. And also focusing on gratitude. Everything you can think of, just grateful. I'm thankful I have a marker. I'm thankful I have a cup of water. I'm thankful for the electronics, whatever you can think of. I'm thankful I'm breathing. I'm thankful I have electricity. I'm thankful I didn't have to go and fetch my own water today and clean it, then drink it. I could just turn on the tap water, or I can go to the local refrigerator, local cooler in my workplace or wherever and get a drink of water, a bottle of water, right? I'm so grateful I didn't have to clean the water. It's already cleaned for me. Right? Find anything you can be thankful for and grateful for, but get your mind off this stuff. Don't think about this at all. Get into your soul. And that was the thing that changed me completely, because then I can be in the feminine, receiving. Feminine, masculine energies are not by gender, just to also note that. So if you're a guy listening to this, great, you have both energies. If you're a woman listening to this, great, you have both energies. Feminine and masculine are in all people. It's just, are you more than one than the other? Okay. And when it comes to manifestation, you have to work your feminine. You have to work the receiving muscle. And then after you let this go, that's when you can drive. Don't focus on getting the money. Instead, focus on helping the world increase all things. And that's how you can put your masculine energy. This was a life changer for me not that long ago. And step 5 is repeating and staying consistent. Right here. When I was talking to my client the other day, he was like, Scott, I manifested money before with you. I manifested using your 5 steps. I really get it. I have a system down where I'm visualizing everything, but it's kind of like I lost momentum. I was like, all right, well, let's take a look. Everything that's a challenge is an equal and opposite solution to it and a growth moment. So let's take a look. And I was like, well, how many times do you visualize? So, well, I did like 10 days in a row. And then I kind of dropped off. I was like, okay, well, when's the last time you visualized? And he was like, well, I don't remember, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I was like, okay, you visualized for 10 days straight, you got results, and then you stopped for 7 days. Okay, why'd you stop? And he's like, I don't know. I just didn't really feel like it. I didn't really feel like doing it. I got busy, I was getting my work done. I'm like, all right, so you stopped doing the thing that was working in the first place because you got busy. Is that what you're saying? And, he's like, yeah, I guess that's kind of dumb, isn't it? So, well, it's not dumb. It's just not as empowering as you could be right now, right? And I see this time and time again where this stuff works and you see it start to work and then you stop instead of repeating, which is here in step 5. So what I always recommend is you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner on average every day. Now, most people don't. I get it. You fast, or you have 1 meal a day, or 5 meals a day. Whatever the regimen is, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm just hitting the point home of every day you eat. Every day you drink water. Every day you brush your teeth. At least I hope you do. Every day you take a shower. Every day you do something, right? You do that stuff every day, but you're not doing this every day. What's the difference? If you don't like brushing your teeth, don't you do it anyways because you want clean teeth and you want your teeth to rot and fall out and have smelly breath, right? You do it every day, even though you don't feel like doing it. I don't always feel like brushing my teeth. I don't feel like flossing. You know, you do it anyways because you want healthy teeth. You want the outcome. And it takes what? Brush your teeth for how long? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? How long does this take? It doesn't take a long time. We already did the work. You already have the intention written down. We have to keep writing it down. You already have your scenes, 1 and 2 we've talked about. You already have your emotions written down. You already know what to do with letting and allowing. Like, you only have to visualize 3 to 5 minutes a day. You don't have to do it a long time. You could visualize just a little bit every day. And even if you're like, you know, I teach a lot of advanced energetics where I talk about visualizing isn't even needed. We'll talk about that in another video, but this route here, it doesn't take that long. I mean, you could do literally 5 minutes daily as long as you are feeling it. As long as you get into that feeling and then you let it go and you don't panic all day about it, 5 minutes will do it. Or what I tell my clients is every time you eat, visualize a minute afterwards. So if you eat 3 times a day, eat breakfast, and take 1 minute everyone has, and visualize. After lunch, take 1 minute, visualize. After dinner, take 1 minute and visualize. I don't care if you feel like doing it or not, just go ahead and do it. Just like sometimes you don't feel like eating. Like you're like, I know I have to eat because I am hungry, but I have other things to do. It's not always convenient to do so, but you're doing it anyways, right? Oh, I gotta get the laundry done. I don't have, you know, somebody taking care of my laundry. I gotta get done, right? You gotta have clothes to wear. You don't always feel like doing it, but you do it anyways. So even if you don't feel like doing this every day, just do it anyways. Like, that's just part of it. And in another video in energetics and deep healing, we'll do a lot of deep healing where you do start to feel like doing it more and more. But if you repeat this every day for 5 minutes, as long as, this is really important, as long as you feel the emotion, as long as you are letting it go, keep it going. Now, if you feel opposite, you feel frustrated, you're reading that your mind is starting to go into like, how's it going to happen? Where is it going to come from? When's it going to come? All that mind, you know, the mind tricks that come up. Stop visualizing these scenes and do some new ones for a different amount of money. Say that one more time here so you really get it. If you're not feeling the emotion and you are panicking and you are opposite, you're going down this path here where you're not serving, you're not in gratitude, you are just, your mind is complicating this and tricking you. Stop the visualizing. You need to go back to step 1, create some new intentions with new end scenes and new feelings with new money amounts. Don't worry, it's not like you backtrack. It just, and do something new will help you refresh your energy into a better process here. Super important and very critical. This whole idea is about shifting your money consciousness, shifting your reality, shifting into a parallel reality where the big money, the abundance, the prosperity is already there for you. Give it a try. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see you here.